Hello guys, welcome to the 14th video of the short HTML5 video tutorial series for absolute beginners. So in this video we're going to take a look at how to create buttons in HTML. So to create a button in HTML, basically we are going to have an opening and then a closing button tag. So this is our opening button tag, and then that is followed by a closing button tag. So in between these two button tags, we are going to supply the name that we want to call our button. So let's say first button. Let's save this, and so we can see that this button is clickable. Again, let's create another button. So we are going to have our button tags, and in between those tags we are going to say the name should be second button. Let's save this also, and so you can see our first button is clickable and our second button too is also clickable. Now the button element comes with an attribute called type. So we can have type here, and the type can either be button, it can also be reset, it can be menu, and the rest. But for this particular video we're going to take a look at the type button and then the type submit. So every button element, the moment you don't supply or the moment you don't use the type attribute, then the type attribute is supplied by default as a submit. So for example, as we have not specified a type in the first and second buttons, they have been supplied by default by the browser, and the browser will normally supply the type as submit. And what submit means is that if there was a form on this particular page, any of these buttons that I click on would end up submitting the form because it has the type of submit. But if you want to change the default behavior of an HTML button, we basically use the type to change the submit to now a button. So if I specify type is equal to button, what it means is that now I have changed the default behavior of this button element. So if a user was to click on the first button, for example, and there was a form on this page, that form will be submitted because the button element has a default type of submit, which I have not changed, so it still exists. But the second button has now got the type of button, is no longer submit. So when I click on the second button and there was a form here, the second button wouldn't submit it. So I guess that's going to be all for buttons. If you want to create a button, like I said, we basically use the opening button tag and then also the closing button tag. And in between the opening button tag and then the closing button tag is where you supply the name for the button. And we again said that the button element or tags, for example the opening button tag, can take the attribute called type, where basically you can specify the type as button, which simply means that the button is going to be a normal button which doesn't do anything by default, or you can specify the type as submit. And we earlier on also learned that by default any button that you create comes with the type set as submit. So basically I think we should end this video here, and if you have any comments at all about this video, please feel free to leave them in the comment section below. And if you have any suggestions about what I can do to make my videos better, do feel free to also leave those in the comment section below. In the next video, we'll be taking a look at how to build HTML forms. And so I'll also quickly add that if you have not subscribed to the channel already, please try and subscribe so that you'll be the first to know when I upload the next video. Bye for now.